The Wellness Show, episode number 353.
Welcome to The Wellness Show, a podcast on health and wealth. I'm your host, Tyhson Bannigan, the founder of the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy. Join me as we get the latest insight, tips, and strategies from wellness providers, coaches, and successful, heart-centered entrepreneurs, and much, much more.
Hi.
Hi, we're live on Facebook. This is Tyhson Bannigan, and this is The Wellness Show on health, wealth, and enlightenment. So welcome to the show, everybody. We're with you for the next hour to answer all your questions on dowsing and energy healing, how to get out of your own way, how to take back your personal power, stand in your truth no matter what, and deliver your awesome gifts to the world. So if you're an intuitive out there and you're struggling, wondering what's up on planet Earth, what's up in my life, then phone in toll free in North America. The number is right up here, 1-866-369-7464. We're here to answer all your questions. And we love tough questions. So there we are. So I was reading the whole history of the pharmaceutical industry by the Rockefellers this morning.
Oh my. How'd that go?
And by the way, it's posted on my homepage. So if you want to head over there after the show and take a look at it, it is an eye-opener. It is shocking. It is gross. It is demeaning. It is subjecting humanity to control on the highest level. It is known as creating world wars. It is called seizing power. It is called destroying the vitamin industry. It's called destroying natural health, all for under the guise of profits, right? It includes Nazi Germany. It includes experimentation in Auschwitz, in the concentration camps. It includes being exempt from the Nuremberg trials. It includes those that were responsible for testing all these drugs to the inmates in the concentration camp being exempt, only receiving 12-year sentences, while others were, tried and lost their lives, right? This is the back history of planet Earth. This is the matrix in which we're enmeshed. It's time, people, to wake up and smell the coffee. If you don't like coffee, wake up and smell the tea, but please wake up, okay? This is really, really important. Yes, you don't want to know this stuff. No, it is horrible. Just like, Satanism, you don't want to know these things. I know you don't want to know these things. I don't want to know these things. I don't want to know that entities can inhabit human bodies. I don't want to know about discarnate human beings. I don't want to learn about Satanist rituals. I don't want to learn about, child slavery. I don't want to learn about any of those things. I want to live on a much more humane planet. But the only way we get there from here is we've got to face the truth. We got to face the shadow within inside of ourselves. So it's time to do the deep work. So if you're ready to do the deep work on this show, then phone in and let's get doing some deep work. Let's help you get out of your own way. It's not that we want to judge anybody. It's just that if we know what the shadow is, we know where we can bring the light. Okay? It's not a case of judgment. This is a free will universe. We get to play any way we want, black squares, white squares, or no squares at all. If you want to graduate off the squares of the duality, that's fine too, but let's know what we're up against. This is a time of planetary change and transformation. This is a time of influx of new energies. This is what's been said biblically: Armageddon, end of the world, fifth world for the indigenous people, the turning of the ages, the coming of Aquarius, the end of the Durga Yuga, the blah, 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 and the yeah. And there's many, many terms for this, for this change we're in the midst of. So I understand that waking up is hard to do. I know there's a song like that.
I was just thinking that. Now let's start singing.
No singing allowed. Okay, fine. All right. So
everybody's a critic.
Everybody's a critic, right? So why not give us a phone call? Come on in. And what's up in your life? So lots of stuff going on. Lots of people that we've been working with are really doing some shadow work. Some really deep stuff's coming up for them. At least that's what I've been finding. Lots of nightmares, lots of night terrors, lots of sorting out, who are the voices I'm hearing actually from God or from Source, or they're from something else. How do I know? How do I figure this out? How do I free myself? How do I get out of the fear of what's going on this planet? How do I liberate myself? And how do I talk to my family who can't understand anything of what I'm going through? What can I say to them? How can I stay sane? And the only option seems to be suicide. These are all the questions that many people are having to face right now in this new normal, whatever normal is, this new abnormal normal. So we got any questions out there?
Debbie says, good morning, everyone from the cloud-covered desert. Super pretty sunrise this morning. We have a hi from Linda Booney. Lots of people watching this morning, and I've asked people to call in or ask their questions right here, and so Ty and Laura can answer them. And yes, lots of negative things going on in the world right now, and trying to be that sunshine in the cloudy days. You just got to fight through it a little bit. Do your meditations. The blue rain, the Divine Mother Blue Rain one meditation. I've been
concentrated divine love.
Did that this morning, and I'm telling you, it just like washes everything clean. I love her.
Yeah, Divine Mother is, really connected to, all of the divine feminine energy from Kali Yuga, which we're experiencing now, or Durga, the multi-headed goddess from in Hindu, where she, off with everybody's head who isn't serving the divine, right? The multi-hand goddess, with the swords and the heads. She's part of this change and transformation we're in the midst of. And then we have the Mother Earth, who you can think of as in the bosom of the mother. When you are one with her, she'll take care of you, but she's a little bit angry right now because she's in the midst of birthing a new Earth, and it's not going very well because we're not really helping as the proper doulas that we could be as Earth stewards. We're not supporting her through this transformation, so it's more painful for her than normally it would be. Now, if we were already in grace, right, then this transformation would be less pain. But because we're going through this chaos and we're trying to figure out, which side of the fence do we want to play? Do we want to believe in this conspiracy theory, or do we want to say, no, I can't handle that. I just want the world the way it was because it was safe that way. I want my job. Don't bother me. I just want to go to work and get my money and come home and watch TV, and that's it. There's sort of that. Don't wake me up. I'm just fine. Thank you very much. And then those that are waking up and saying, oh my God, this is horrible. The planet's going to hell in a handbasket. What can I do about it? And so there's that whole crowd. And then there's a whole conspiracy about these guys are doing this to us and blah, 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 blah. We need to riot, or we need to get out there and stop that. And then there's others that say, no, wait a minute, this is all an inside job, that if you can deal with the dark side inside of yourself, come to love yourself unconditionally, that will manifest into the world individually and collectively, and we'll have a better world. I think Laura's hiding behind some paper there. I don't know what she's talking about.
This is what I recommend for everyone, the deep clearing protocol. Because everybody that's been doing this, all of my clients, they're on here, and they all know it because they're all on here. They're all saying they're staying out of the fear, all of them. And they're taking back their own personal sovereignty, and there's no issue. So if you have any questions about your own sovereignty, or you don't know how to get out of the fear, or how to get out of your own head, call Tyson and I, and let's do the deep cleaning protocol. And anyone out there, come on, Wendy, Michele, Matt, who else is doing the deep cleaning protocol that's on here?
They're all hiding. They're all clear. They're all enlightened now.
All clear. They're all like, yeah, I don't need
They're all on their own, sitting on their clouds and saying, I don't see any problem. I'm okay.
Tyson and Laura, and see what more we can learn from them, because
Well, the deep clearing protocol was really getting angry to discover that there's entities, discarnate beings interdimensional entities and even ETs that can inhabit human bodies can cause pain, suffering, and dark nights of the soul. When I learned that 25 years ago, I don't know how many years ago it was, I was shocked. I said, you know, there's no way this could be true. And the more I looked into it, the more I realized from Raymond Grace that that actually was occurring. So then I got on a rampage, right? I wanted to, you know, how dare anybody inhabit a human being, blah, blah, blah. We got to get rid of them all. So when I was at war, I was out there, as somebody said, but, hey, Tyhson, do you know you got this huge sword in your aura? And I said, oh, yeah, that must be Archangel Michael's sword, because I'm really like Archangel Michael. We're just going to clean up this mess, right? And then I realized that all the slicing and dicing and chopping and wheezing really wasn't doing anything. It was just creating a war. So I'd have more entities showing up in my life because I was at war with them. So, you know, they like to war. So, you know, it took me a long time before I put my shield and my helmet and my sword and hung it up on the wall and said, hey, enough of all this already. I'm going to do this differently. That all of these energies that show up in my life have shown up for a reason for me to do some inner work.
So this is it right here. And these are the comments that we've got. Let's see. In the last 7 weeks or so, I've let myself go down the anxiety road, trying to work from, but I started up the DCP again, and it's totally working. Thanks, Heather. Michelle says, love it, love it. Wendy Raymond says, I'm clear, I love the protocol. And Heather again says the protocol is truly amazing. And our Eduardo says, I also do the deep cleaning protocol. Awesome. I've done the deep cleaning protocol. It's amazing. It's wonderful. I do it. I did the short one this morning. I did it yesterday. I do it every day. When my house got broken into and I was running down the road and I started going into like panic mode because somebody broke into my house and what was I going to find in there? I tapped my thymus where, how do you say that? Is that EMF or ET or?
Yeah, it's tapping. It's the short form of, you know, even though it's a way of bringing it into your conscious body.
So I tapped 3 times and immediately.
It's emotional freedom technique is what you're looking for.
Thank you. And that's what I did. I tapped 3 times because the deep cleaning protocol wasn't anywhere to be found. I was in the car on the way to my house. And immediately I calmed right down. My sister saw it. She was like, holy crap. And I said, I just cleared myself. Never had instantaneous clearing. And I was completely fine and centered from that moment forward as I went and looked at my house, which was fine. And then I found out the other day, my girlfriend called me. I hadn't talked to her since this all began. She didn't even know that my house had been broken into. And I was thinking, yeah, that's because I wasn't stuck in my story. And it just is what it is. And I moved right along. And she's like, can't believe you didn't tell me. And I'm like, what's there to tell? I don't know.
Done with.
Yeah, boom, gone, done. It's over.
Yeah, and you know, for people listening to this show, you know, when your house is broken into, it's just another extension of your own energy field that somebody has violated that boundary. So when you clear yourself, you're clearing your house and you're clearing your, you know, and why don't you clear your bioregion while you're at it? Why don't you, you know, clear your family? And while you're doing that, you might as well do your lineage. And while you're doing that, you might as well clear your country. And why not do Washington, D.C. and maybe just do Mother Earth for the whole shmoo, right? So there's no place that necessary to stop. Mm-hmm. The beauty is that anything that's out of harmony, you can clear it. You can clear it at a distance. So now your TV and the news that can drive you crazy and put you into fear becomes, oh, that's what I need to clear. Oh, that's some violence that's going over there. Let me clear that. That's going over there in Bangladesh. Oh, let's help that. Oh, there's flooding that's happening in Fort McMurray. Oh, that's a lot of people suffering. Let's help them get out of the suffering and pain. Let's put them back into ease and grace. So, you know, mm-hmm. This is what the Buddha would do if the Buddha were present with us. He'd have so much compassion for what was happening in the human suffering, good, bad, and ugly, that he would be just helping everybody come back to the light. I mean, that's what it is to be a bodhisattva. That's what we're here to do. We're here to have compassion for every human being, for every life form, with no judgment.
None.
Everybody's doing what they're here to do. Otherwise, they'd be doing something else.
Right.
I mean, that sounds strange, but everybody's here doing what they need to do because otherwise they'd be doing something else. Everybody's trying to do the best they can. Even those that are into violence and into craziness are doing the best they can because they don't know any better. They don't know how to do anything better.
Yep.
Yet.
Michele Montgomery said, out of the blue, I start doing the deep cleaning protocol. She also asked, oh my gosh, sorry. Decline.
Well, maybe they want to talk to you on the show.
I don't think so. And then Michele Montgomery says, you tapped your head 3 times to clear yourself. No, I tapped my thymus 3 times right here.
Yeah, that's where your high heart is, right? So
right. I used to do this, but it started to hurt, so I started.
Yeah. And anyway, this is putting you into your third eye, which is, how you see the world. But this is not how we want you to see the world. The seeing can be an illusion. We want you to feel it in your heart, which is your connection to your source consciousness. So I would rather that you tap your thymus, which then, and actually it activates your endocrine system and brings it into balance too. So it's balancing out your hormones in your body and calming you down out of fight and flight. So it's doing multiple things. It's doing the deep clearing if you programmed it that way. It's readjusting your hormones and calming you down. And it's doing emotional freedom technique. So doing all these things just by tapping yourself 3 times, which is what the basis of dowsing is all about, or energy transformation, is that you take a whole bunch of information like the deep clearing protocol, which is 64 statements, and you condense it down over time because you're running the same program, which has all this behind it, and you're bringing it down like this. And after a period of 21 days, you have just being able to tap yourself and saying clear, it runs the whole program. Yep. This is really how we get our conscious mind to program our subconscious mind. And if we don't do that, then we're running on the programs that have always been there, which is from all those incidents, all those stories of pain, hurt, trauma, whatever. We're running on automatic pilot, right? Most humans are on automatic pilot. So we want you to be able to take control of flying your own plane, managing your own life. And the way that you do that is the deep clearing teaches you that you can reprogram what's important for you to show up in your life. And as you move from getting clear, then the next step is, okay, now that you're clear from trauma, now how can we get you connected 100% to source consciousness so that you're in the divine flow? And then when you're in the divine flow, everything starts to move and flow with ease and grace. That's where we want to get you to, is that amazing place of being taken care of, no matter where you are, which keeps you out of fear, keeps you in the right place at the right time. So that's where we're going with all of this.
And it all starts right here, Tyson Bannigan's Deep Cleaning Protocol. I can't say it enough, peeps. You need to get this. If you're not doing it yet, come on, call me, text me. Let's get you on. Let's do this. It is amazing. And we're going to be putting it out there more and more and more, and getting more and more people on it. And the more people that we have on it, explain how that works.
Well, it's a collective, we create the world we live in with every thought, word, and deed, and action. So if you're running on automatic pilot, you're running all your fears, your doubts, your shame, your guilt, what you learned from your ancestors, past lives, the time you were, assassinated or whatever, especially if you're an empath, all those times when you put your head up above the, the horizon and said, hey, how about this as a herbal remedy? And they dragged you off and tortured you and told you that you were a witch. So, there's a lot of trauma that empaths have, and there's a lot of fear. Oh, I'm not going to stand up and be counted this time around because last time I did it, I lost my life, right? So there's a lot of fear, right? Off with your neck. So there's a lot of fear to overcome, and I get that. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, bloody as it was. I don't recommend anybody stay in the fear. I'd rather go through the agony of the deep dark night of the soul And we'll go find you there. If you camped out in the dark night of the soul, I'll send Laura down there with a flashlight to find you and bring you home.
Send me.
Yeah.
I like going there.
Yeah, we'll give you your rod and your staff right into the valley of death, and we'll send you, right?
I've been there a couple of times. That's all.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I know the path in and I know the path out. So
Renata says, "Okay, Laura, I'm ready." I've only been talking to you, Renata, about the DCP since like November. It's about time, yeah, girl. Come on, join. Now that it really does work, people really does work, 100%. And when you stop doing it, just like Heather's finding out, you go right into panic and fear because she wasn't done with it. She wasn't done.
Yeah, they weren't done with you. So all the entities that are attacking you are really there to help you wake up. You know, on the soul level, you said, I want to come enlightened at a certain time on this planet because I have a job to do to bring about the new earth or the new way of being on planet Earth. So lots of us have been dormant, asleep, call it sleep, you know, like Sleeping Beauty, you know, waiting for that prince to kiss us. Well, in this case, it's been little demonic beings that have kissed you or bit your butt and said, wake up, wake up, wake up. The way you are, you need to be upgrading. And you say, no, 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 leave me alone. I want to sleep. I want to sleep. Go away, you're bothering me. And then they phone Tyson and say, shoot them all, take care of them. I'm being harassed. And Tyson says, no, it's a good thing. And they say, no, it's not, no, it's not. And I say, yeah, you need to take back your personal power. Oh no, I don't know how to do that. Just help me, help me, help me. And I'm saying, no, I can't do that. It's not good for you. You have to figure this out yourself. You have to raise your consciousness. Oh, I don't want to. I don't. So anyway, the story is, get over the story. I know it's horrific what's been happening to you. I don't like being, you know, eaten alive by entities, and I don't like that creepy crawly thing inside of my skin that just drives me nuts. I don't want any of that stuff. It's not allowed in my world. But I had to take back my power. I had to defend myself emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually to become a sovereign human being so that I would never, ever be harassed, right?
Yes.
And that's what I'm asking each one of you to do. And so we're not creating a cult here. This is not Laura Kuhl's deep clearing cult. This is actually us.
Not yet, anyway. Maybe later when I rule the world.
All right. Welcome to the Wellness Show.
Good morning, Ty and Laura. It's Matt again. How are you?
I'm Matt again. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Hey, just looking for a little help this morning. I got neuropathy in my feet. It's really been under control, but last night my right foot went absolutely nuts.
All right. So how come you don't want to walk forward?
Why don't I want to walk forward?
Yeah.
I like walking forward.
All right. So there's some level of the truth of who you be that doesn't want to walk forward. What part of yourself are you not stepping into?
Well,
if you knew the answer off the top of your head, what would it be? There's no right or wrong answer here. There's just waking up.
I'm caught. There's a couple parts.
Well, choose one of them. Just choose one.
Just dealing with my past, which I've been doing with my deep cleaning.
Dealing with what? Your past?
Yeah, with some issues with my past.
Okay, what if there is no past?
Then I could move forward.
Exactly. So what if the past is just a story that you're telling yourself that only has power because you keep telling her the story, and there's something you think need to fix when there's nothing to fix. If you're in the present, there's no past. So there's nothing to fix and nowhere to go but just to be where you are and love yourself and forgive yourself because you've arrived in the present. Do that and watch your foot literally heal in front of you. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Can you stay out of your story for 24 hours?
I will.
Make that your goal. Every time the story comes up, do another deep clearing or write a short clearing, something like this. So let's just do it. So I, Tyson Bannigan, my I am presence to the system of divine creator, divine mother, and the source of all that is, clear any non-beneficial stories from any and all sources, known or unknown, for everybody on this call or listening to this call, that all stories get turned into pure divine light, and all past is collapsed into the present, and all future worries become dissolved into the now moment. And I hereby declare it so, so be it. It is done. Thank you. So now there's no stories. I mean, past is a regret and fear about, oh, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. And then the future is, oh my God, what am I going to do? Because this could happen. It's sort of like waiting for the shoe to drop, or they're going to be chased around by the boogeyman that's coming over the horizon, or what. It's just a waste of energy. It's a way to be eaten alive. So if I wanted to control this planet, I would keep you in the past, worrying about what you did wrong, and I would get you worried about the future. Oh, coronavirus is going to get you, and then we're going to inoculate you, and we're going to chip you, and if you don't, you can't do this and you can't do that. And by the way, we got to do this because there's going to be a second wave that's going to lock you down. It could be worse than the first one. Da 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 da. Let's keep you in fear, because if you're in fear, we can control you. If we can keep you in your stories, you will never see the light of day. So anyway, hopefully that helps. And I would love to see you be able to do this for 24 hours and get back to us on the show and let us know what's happening. And if not, we're going to kick your butt and go deeper.
I will do it.
All right. Thanks for phoning in. Bye for now. Yeah, messages from the body. Your body has two messages, pain or pleasure, okay? They're both are messages from your body. They're both trying to tell you something, right? Mm-hmm. And if you go for too much pleasure, you exhaust your body. You know, for those of that have just, been on the rush of sex, let's have some more and some more and some more. You really crash and burn if you go that way. And if you go the other way, if you're into the pain and suffering, then you just go into overwhelm and you crash and burn that way. So we're looking for the medium here. We're looking for that balance, between the yin and the yang, that we call it the woo-wee way, the effortless space between the two, where we're not overwhelmed by pleasure and we're not overwhelmed by pain, right? So we're just okay. And in that, amazingly, comes bliss. Bliss. It's sort of like it's just, what can I say? How the hell can you describe bliss? You can't. But the point is that it just arises out of the nothingness, right? Of not trying to dampen down your fear and not trying to have orgasmic pleasure at the other end. In the middle is just a peaceful existence with you, your body, and your creator. It's known as bliss. And let me tell you, it's worth arriving at. Okay, yeah. It's worth doing the effort of letting go and getting rid of your story.
Right. And what will happen too with the deep cleaning protocol is those things that you need to clear out, which would be the neuropathy, right? Or what's causing the neuropathy. Those things are gonna move forward and into the forefront. So when something physical starts happening to you while you're doing the deep cleaning protocol, the first thing you want to do is ask yourself, well, what does the foot do? What do the ears do? What do the eyes do? If I can't see, what is it that I don't want to look at? If I can't hear, what is it that I don't want to hear? And as Tyson put it, if it's your foot, what's holding you back from moving forward, right? So
and if it's neuropathy, what are you not allowing yourself to feel?
Oh, about moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Without the same stories.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I got the same thing that it was moving forward and the story being stuck in the story, which is, we've been brought up in the society to repeat our stories over and over and over, right?
Yeah. In this case, it may not be the story. Think about this, most of us, when we have emotions that are overwhelming, we stuff them down, we bury them, we sit on them, we push them under. So if that's the case, then neuropathy would be a case of the emotion that's so buried that there may not even be a story to it because we didn't want to deal with the story. So we don't have a story about it. It's just there. It's an emotion that we haven't allowed ourselves to experience. So One of the nice things about theta that you can do is you can go up to source consciousness. If you've done theta, there's a nice guided meditation that Vianna will take you on to take you up to source consciousness. Or if you can go to that still place inside of yourself and connect with source and say, God or source, download me the emotions that I can't feel that are trapped in the neuropathy of my foot. Give me the emotions that I've got buried so I can feel them and then release it. And then check in with your pendulum or muscle testing or body sway. Have I received those emotions? And you don't even have to name them. And once your body can feel that, what does it feel like to be loved, or what does it feel like to let go of that forgotten part of yourself, or soul fragment comes home, or whatever it is, Creator will give you that feeling and it will be released, right? Because you'll have, it no longer will be buried. And then the energy will flow through your foot and bingo, you'll have no more neuropathy.
And you know what? I just remembered too, and if I wish he was still on the call, because yesterday he mentioned seeing, praying after the deep cleaning protocol and seeing a flash of light come through. And he had asked just exactly what you were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I wish he was on the call. Boy, that is it right there. So God is answering you. It's just taking a little while because, of course, it's coming in through the physical.
Yeah, and if you look at the Kabbalah, you have the black pillar, and on one side you have the white pillar on the other, and the path of the journey, is the path of the tarot, of the fool who's ignorant, becoming the wise being, right, on the path of the Kabbalah, between the two pillars. And when that enlightenment happens, when that flash, which is represented by the lightning in the Kabbalah, it's that divine flash that comes out of nowhere. It's the aha, it's the eureka, it's the basis of, it's a precursor of anything that's done scientifically. I always find it so ironic because scientists don't want to deal with the aha. They don't want to deal with the intuition, but every experiment always started with an aha, right?
Yeah.
An experiment is always an artifact after the aha of trying to explain it rationally in a way in which it can be repeated. But the initial aha or eureka was the download from source consciousness that caused the experiment in the first place.
And Einstein talked about that.
Yeah.
He talked a lot about intuition.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's where you got everything.
So did Tesla, and he was deemed crazy by the end. But I just think that was whatever system.
He was harassed to the nth degree by Mr. Westinghouse, by the way. So if you could go over to Tyhson's homepage on Facebook, read the whole thing about the history of the pharmaceutical company. And then if you want to then do some research around Tesla, find out about Westinghouse and JP Morgan and what that was all about. Look, basically the story is the same. Free energy, which was coming from Tesla, you couldn't put a price on it. You can't put a meter on free energy.
Right.
Okay. On vitamins and microbiotics and nutritional plants, you can't put a patent on them. There's no money in it. So we have to decredit all that and have to say that it's, that it's completely impossible. And we have to have people have prescriptions because they have to pay for it. We have to patent everything. That's where the money is. Follow the money. Look, think about this. We talk about, we need to have money to survive this world. Look, if we went back to our vitamins and our nutrients and with the plant kingdom, would we need pharmaceuticals? No. Okay, if we did free energy and did Teslas, would we need to have all these power lines all over the place and the gas and the oil and all the electricity and dams and nuclear, generators and crazy stuff that we're talking about on this planet? I mean, this is an insane planet. Okay, this planet is insane. All of that would be gone overnight, right?
Ask anyone out there who wants free energy. Who wants to live in a world where there's no toxic stuff falling out of the skies and our lakes and our streams are clear again? Who wants to live in a better world? Yet you fight it, and you want this, you want to follow them. Come on, people. When are we going to wake up?
I dream of a world where there's no power lines, right?
Oh, well, that's a whole.
I dream of a world where there's no roads. Give the earth back to the animals.
Yeah.
Stop killing animals with trains and planes, or not necessarily planes, but there's no reason we can't have air vehicles, right? Or we can have trackways where all the cars go on, which are above the flow of the animals, or there's bridge over the highways like in Banff National Park, so all the animals don't get killed on the road. And I actually believe that every bloody railroad on the planet should have their railroad tracks feds too. Come on, if you're going to make millions and billions of dollars, then why can't we protect the wildlife? So
Right.
I think we could live in a much better, humane world very easily with not spending a lot of money on crazy things, right? Which is polluting the planet, polluting humans, and making them pay for the fact that we made them sick in the first place.
Right. Right.
So anyway, do your homework. The truth will set you free. Read about the pharmaceutical industry.
We've got a ton of people saying stuff. Barbara Burt says, towards Matt, stepping into our truth. Oz says intuition turns into inspiration. Rihanna.
Not perspiration. It turns into inspiration, not perspiration.
I said inspiration.
No, I know, but we think that working perspiration will bring it.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you clarified yourself there. What are you talking about? Yes, work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I didn't say perspiration. I said.
I know you didn't.
And then Oz gives us that she wants to live in that kind of world. Please, hearts. Barbara Burt says the same thing. Please, hearts. Come on, guys. Everybody wants this for their families. I know they do. Deep down, they want free energy. They want to live in a beautiful world where everybody has food, where everybody is taken care of. And there's no reason why we can't have that. We have enough for everyone. We just have to do it a little differently.
So the question to be or not to be is to be chipped or not to be chipped.
No, but that's just my. Did I say that really loud like that? I'm sorry. I think you need to make your own decisions. That was just mine.
Right. But that's, a one timeline is that we're going to be all chipped before we can be freed from our lockdown, So, that's one scenario that Bill Gates wants us to happen, right? That's the opposite. That's the mind control, top-down planet of those in control. And the world that we're talking about with free energy and no pharmaceuticals necessary because we're using herbal remedies and vitamins is the other world, right? So one is, that really comes down to playing with the idea to be or not to be, which is from Shakespeare, is to be chipped or not to be chipped. Which world do you want to choose? Because individually, you need to make this decision. And when you make this decision individually, then it starts to influence your family. Whether you talk to them or not, you're already standing in your truth. And when you stand in your truth, there's the power of who you be radiates out. And the more people that do that collectively, the more the timeline manifests into reality, because we're the sum total of all the thoughts, deeds, and actions that we think globally. So the more people that will hold that vision in their mind of a world that we just described, the more it will manifest into reality.
Quick.
The quicker. So, when we go over and spend time on the pharmaceutical industry, like I just told you to do, and to be chipped or not chipped, we don't want you to go over there and dwell in it. We don't want you to put your, pitch your tent in the dark night of the soul, because that's the dark night of the soul. We just want you to know that what's going on in the dark night of the soul. What is the agenda? Because once you're informed, you can decide, no, I don't want that world to manifest, and you can pack your tent and get the hell out of there, right? and get back to the light. So I'm saying, don't bury your head in the sand. I want you to know the light and the dark, and I want you to be aware of making a decision. Okay? That's where I want you to be. I know Laura's holding up some paper again.
Because the deep cleaning protocol, everyone that's done it, and they've become sovereign human beings, and I've watched it over and over and over and over and over and over again, where you step out of fear and out of vaccines and out of face masks, and you go into your sovereign human rights of who you are as an individual, and none of it makes sense.
That's right. And you can't be controlled anymore by the boogeyman and those that go bump in the night, or the Rockefellers or the 13 families, or whether they don't touch you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, the trust, the covenant from source is that, do with me what you will, thy will be done. And when you make that commitment, when you're one with source, you're going to be in the right place at the right time, no matter what, to be safe. That is all you need to know. Right? Who doesn't want that for their family?
I don't know. No one. That's why I am so gung-ho, and I've been telling you about this over and over and over, Tyson.
Are you creating a religion, Laura?
Just know it works, man. Just know it works.
We're going to have to get you a pulpit.
Paper,
Yeah. And we're talking about Tyson writing his book. And Laura said, are you going to have it about the deep clearing protocol? That's what you need to write about, Tyson.
I don't know how many times I'm like, Tyson, let's do all of our marketing about this. And he's like, what, Laura? Because, he's been doing it for so long, and he's like so far past it that I got to pull him back and say, but dude, see, there's like all these people over here who haven't done it yet, and they need it. And I know you're way over there, and I love that you're way over there because I've learned so much. But this is where it all starts. And if you, as within your own families, you do it, get your families to do it, get their friends to do it, everybody do it. And then we'll take our sovereign human being back as being a sovereign human being. And what does that even mean? What does being a sovereign human being even mean? It means that you get to make your own decisions for you and what feels right for you.
Yeah, and in accord with the law of one, which is do no harm, and with guidance from source or God. Yeah, absolutely. And so Laura is right. It is the first stepping stone on the path to enlightenment. It's one of them. Well, actually, it is one of them. However you do it, whether it's a deep clearing protocol or whatever technique you use to get out of your stories and take back your personal power and become sovereign, that's the first step. Because otherwise you're guided by your fear. Somebody else can jangle your chain, and you're going to react to it. So it's a really important step. Once you're sovereign, then you can discover what are your divine gifts. Why did you incarnate this time around, and what are you here to deliver? And why is this important now? Because many of us said, I want to awaken at exactly the right time on this planet. So a lot of us have been dormant, literally like dormant seeds, waiting for the energy on the planet to be right to come online. Now, part of it is because if we came on too early, then we'd go through a lot of suffering and pain because the planet wasn't ready for it. So I know lots of those people that were ahead of their time and had to figure this out on their own. They had no support, no nothing. Yeah. And, some of them just committed suicide. Some of them said, pick me up, take me home. I don't like this planet. So, a lot of people chose to be woken up at a certain period of time. They're like in hibernation, like in the spaceship that's going to Venus, whatever, they put you all in cryonics, they put you in hyper space and then wake you up when you get there. That's the sort of like on the soul level, people are waking up. Mm-hmm. And we want to be there. We want a whole cadre of people that they are to help people wake up and say, yeah, the world doesn't look very pretty, but you're not here to fit into the world. You're here to help change it. So let's help you remember who you are and what your superpowers are so you can deliver your awesome gifts to the world. Let's get this done right this time, right? We didn't do it very good in Lemuria, and we didn't get the job done in Atlantis. I don't know about you. I want to get the job done right this time around.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And I am, regardless. It's already been done.
Yeah, in your world, it's done.
It's done.
Done.
But I would like for other people that I love and respect to come with me. That's all.
Yeah.
The people that I reach out to about it and talk to them about it, you know, sometimes they're not ready. And I've learned over the years that you can't force anything on anybody. But the best thing about the deep cleaning protocol is that if you have family members that don't want to do it, you can do it for them. Because we do no harm, and therefore no harm can be done to us, and we become sovereign human beings, we're not infringing on their free will. So we can, yes. And then you see the difference that it makes in people's lives when you start including them in the deep cleaning protocol.
Yeah, miracles happen.
Absolutely. See it over.
You don't have to say anything or do anything.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing, right? Because we're so used to, well, we have to tell that person what we think is right. We have to pound it into them, or we have to send them to school and put them in a disc and make them sit up straight. Otherwise, they won't be smart enough. Well, wait a minute here. You know, if you're the living example, then you're the dominant energy, and everything then attunes to that. So what would it be like to have a teacher who was already understood bliss in a classroom that could help every child settle down and discover their own path to bliss and be there to support them to figure this out on their own?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, then what is the value of, you know, reading, writing, and all the rest of that? They'd learn that because they want to learn it, not because they have to learn it.
Yep. Not because they have to, or forcing it down someone's throat that isn't ready for it.
Never works.
No.
I just say, what, just F off is what was my response.
Mine too.
Don't tell me what to do.
Refusal to do it.
Right.
I'm going to attest to. And if you're on here, Mom, you can call and tell them how many times you had to do my homework because I refused to do it. Because then what was my saying? I would say, this is stupid. This is never going to, why am I doing this? Stupid. I don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it. And she knew I wouldn't do it because she knew I was stubborn.
I never would have guessed, Laura. Never.
Oh, my Lord. Yes. I'm so easygoing now.
Yeah, right.
So Debbie Summer says, sometimes teachers forget to remember the basics. Yes, we do. Sometimes.
Well, let's be honest to teachers. Teachers have curriculums that they are told they have to teach, right? And they have people that come in, sneak in with crepe shoes because you can't hear them. So they, you know, there's no squeaky in the back of the room. They just sneak in and they listen to you and they judge you, right? And you get a report card from the principal or for those that are judging you. Look, I was really fortunate when I taught school in a private boys' school, nobody bothered to check in. So I just taught them what I wanted to. I had so much fun, right? It was amazing. It was amazing. Why? Because I had no idea what I was going to teach them in the front of the class when I was always, okay, kids, what's up? What do you want to know? We went anywhere and everywhere. We had so much fun and they learned so much. They did all their own experiments and designed them and carried them out. Some of them were crazy, but I let them all do it anyway because they were on a path of learning.
Right.
That's what kids want. Kids want to be supported where they are. And I didn't have to do it quick. If somebody come in and said, okay, this is grade 9 science. Are you abiding by the curriculum? Well, let's see all the tests that you gave them on this material. That I would have been booted out of that school so fast, right? But I had parents telling me when the kids came back, you know, they were sending me books and all sorts. I was talking about Lobsang Rampa and Tibetan Buddhism and with grade 9 class. And I was so scared when those kids went home for Christmas on what their parents are going to say. Some of their parents sent me books back. Thank you so much for teaching my kid about this. And by the way, I thought you might want to read this book, right? Yes.
God
Let
bless
the kids figure it out for themselves. Stop this indoctrination. Again, you look at the history of our schooling and where it comes from. It's trying to make a compliant person to fit them in as a factory worker in a Ford plant building cars. That world doesn't exist anymore. So stop teaching people to fit into a world that no longer exists. And now those people that created that crazy world said, well, we don't need humans anymore. We don't need them to manage our factories because we've got all these automatic machines and we've got these robots. So let's just exterminate all the humans. Let's create, a pandemic because we don't need them. We don't need a workforce anymore. They just are hungry mouths. They're just eating up our profits. So let's just, bring the population of the planet down, right? Thank you, Bill Gates and company. No, that's not a planet I'm going to live on. Right? Sorry, not on this planet. You can go choose another planet. In fact, we'll even let you go there and we'll even wave goodbye, but not on this planet.
So we got a couple comments. Renata says, we moved so the kids could go to a very special Waldorf school that is a whole child approach, and they're lit up for learning. Lewis says, how about the online games, mind control going on? That's true. I've seen lots of that with my parents that come in and say my child is, what am I seeing? I'm seeing suicidal, transgender, that they don't want to be male or female. They want to be the opposite. I believe that has to do with online gaming. And people think I'm crazy, but that's what I was shown. This red dot, I don't know what it is. I don't know, but it goes in and it like switches their brain. So I tell the parents, get them off the games, take them off. And they say, are you insane? They'd like kill me. I said, if your kids are going to kill you because of some game, that is not, I want you to think about it. If your kids are getting that angry about taking away gaming, do you think that it's healthy for them, that it's helping them? Think about it.
Yeah.
Transhumanism.
Yeah. Look, the biggest game here is a game of life. You're already in a game. You're already in an AI environment, right? It's known as the Matrix. So why not learn to play this bigger game? That's what we're teaching you, how to play the bigger game, how to free yourself from the Matrix, because you're already in it. You're already in a video game. You're already creating the rules. You're already getting the results. You have a feedback loop. And as your consciousness rises on the planet, the gap between the thought and the reality is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. So when you think of thought, it's going to show up and punch you in the nose if it's a bad thought, right?
Can you explain the Warnick commands? Because that's what this is. I was talking to my sister about it yesterday. She's fighting herself right now because of the Warnick commands. Am I saying that right?
I don't really understand a lot about it. You can Google it. But basically it is that it can happen in an insidious way or in a non-insidious way. But it really is something that is said by somebody in power or authority over somebody that's using force, consciously, unconsciously, or subconsciously, in dumbing you down. So my teacher saying to me, whispering in my ear, you can't carry a tune, would be a Warnick command. So now I think I can't carry a tune. And now into my adult life, I still have this belief that I can't carry a tune, whether it's right or whether it's wrong. It's a Warnick command that somebody gave me who I thought was new, was superior to me, and I believed them. And that endless loop is running until I take it out, until I can prove otherwise, right? So it could be, for me, it was like, I have to stay after school to learn, what do you call it? The vowels. What is the vowels? Yeah, I couldn't learn that. I mean, I just, I was in remedial class, A, E, I, O, U, and spelling that way. Come on, it just screwed me right up. Like
I remember being told by our principal that if we took something, we had to eat it. And I got so scared that I went home. I went to the office and my mom came and got me. I was in first grade. And then the next day, the lunch lady put peas on my plate. and I almost had a heart attack because I knew I couldn't eat them because they were mushy. Because even thinking about it now. So I had to go up to the principal and say, I did not ask for these. The lunch lady just put them on my plate and I cannot eat them. May I please throw them out? Because their whole mind control thing was that there were other children in other developing countries that were hungry. And my thought process, well, then send them my peas because I don't want them.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, how many in our generation, my generation, the same thing,
Yeah,
eat your food, clear everything off your plate because people in China are starving, right? So now we're gross and overweight, stuffing down the food that we didn't want to eat in the first place and gagging on it. Anyway, yeah. So warning command is running something in, and now this can be mind control too. I mean, one of the whole things of pedophilia and others is to traumatize the children, fragment the brain and compartmentalize it, and then you put the trigger into the compartmentalized part of the brain, which is when you get this message or this sequence of numbers, you will go and do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and it's a whole change. So that's how mass murders are done. That's how, terrorism is done. All sorts of different things are done that way by fragmenting the brain and putting the control in like a warning command that, the person could be in a bar, they could be anywhere, they get this command, they can't remember that part of themselves, and then they go out. And even if they weren't shot dead, which usually is the case with mass murderers, and you then put them on trial and they have no idea why they did what they did because it's not who they be. That's a warning command. That's my understanding of a warning command.
Yeah, thank you. But that's
I may be wrong. That's just Tyson's interpretation of a warning command.
No, and it feels right to me because that's what I was intuitively getting it. But I was trying to explain it to her, but then she would go into that like defensive mode. So I was like, okay, I need to just back up and just let her deal with it.
Yeah, there is a lot of defensiveness around that because if you're fragmented, then there's part of yourself that's trying to fight itself to get back into a wholeness, right? And so there's this war going on about who am I, right? Am I this part of my brain or that part of my brain, and who's in control?
We're at the top of the hour, just so you know.
Hello, Lewis. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Tyhson. Hi, Laura. I just wanted to add something regarding what I was saying there with the children's online games. My grandson, I just had a conversation today. There's a character named Benji, and he was talking about all kind of literally demonic stuff, like, so-and-so drank a portion of this because he's evil. And, I mean, he went on. My daughter was just looking at him, like, amazed that he was so graphic talking about this thing. And I got to tell you, it's very sad. Another thing I wanted to add to the warning command that I think might be related, I saw a lady describing certain things that we need to do whenever we're in the presence of, let's say, any evil entities or, let's say, extraterrestrials. There's some commands that we say, certain mantras. I actually wrote them down somewhere. What she describes is that every TV program, whenever you turn on the TV, there is something that gets activated, like a mind control thing, to keep us glued to the TV in a daze, literally. So what she said that we could do to break that is stick a little piece of paper on the monitor, and that will diffuse or deactivate whatever is sent through the airwaves.
All right. So Laura held up the deep clearing protocol. If you do the deep clearing protocol, which he's holding up again, then you're a sovereign human being, and it doesn't matter who tries to do what with you. It's impossible for them to do anything.
No, I get it. No, I just wanted to, add that to the reason why, the warning command might be related to this.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. There's many triggers in all the video games. There's triggers and all of the TV programs. There's triggers which have to do with mind control. I mean, they've been from way back, I don't know when, all they have subliminal messages to get you to buy or to do this or whatever. So that is absolutely right. And now they can actually come through your TV set and do mind control. I've had clients which are being mind controlled through their TV. And they're, you know, those that are really
That's what
smart.
this lady, yep, that's what she was describing, that you can diffuse that mind
Yeah,
control.
do the deep clearing protocol. Do the deep clearing protocol.
Yeah, no, I'm doing it. You know that.
No, I realize that, but
You know.
I really want, yes, you can do incantations and you can put things on your TV and you can do all that. But if you become a sovereign human being, yes, you can put 995 on your TV. Yes, go ahead and do that. You clear it. Do 997. Put it on a sticker, put it on your TV. Absolutely, you could do that. But the message I just want to say is if you're a sovereign human being, all that craziness stops and you don't have to have mantras and chants and all the rest of that. That's all I'm saying.
Right. No, I mean, this is coming from somebody that obviously don't know about the protocol. Just like I had somebody come 2 days ago, and I did share the videos that you have, 1 and 2. And this is someone that I know is an amazing intuitive. I mean, and I haven't heard like, oh, I started. Yes, I read it. Things are interesting, but yet, you know, she's gone through hell and back, and it's someone who really benefits. Her significant other just passed, so she called me like very depressed. We, you know, talk not too often, but she just called me out of the blue 5 days ago. Her significant other passed, and I was giving her solutions. Look, do this because this will diffuse all the negativity around, you know, the passing, the person was very depressed, and whatever, you know. So, yet, she should be doing it. You know, she should be on the show today, learning as much.
Yeah, she's not ready.
You know,
She's not ready, but she's met you. So this is, again, as you change your energy field, then those that want your help will be attracted to you, and they're thinking, can't put their finger on it, but they know something's happened with you because you've changed, so they're going to ask you. And when you tell them what you're doing, that helps them make their next step too. So I really appreciate you doing that because your energy field has obviously changed, that other intuitives are getting hold of you and saying, you know, what's going on in their lives. So you have a way to guide them back to becoming a sovereign human being. So that's fantastic.
right.
Yeah. And with regard to the one who's listening to these video games or having these dreamings about, you know, violence and demonics and whatever you're talking about, just clear him. Just clear him, right?
Yes, I do. I include his name every day that I do the clearing. But the way he was describing it was so adult-like. He's only 7, but it was like an adult describing all the steps of what will go on. I mean, I don't want to touch the topic. So,
right. Well, I do have to go too.
Anyway, before I go, Tyson, can we do a quick prayer for my father-in-law? We just went to the funeral parlor. He's going to be cremated. The family it's a mess, you know.
All right, let's do a quick clearing. We're over the hour and I have to run. So let's just do it. Okay, so here we go. So
thank you.
So I, Tyhson Bannigan, my I am presence, what is a divine mother, divine father, source and of all that is, undertake a clearing of all non-beneficial energies from any and all sources known or unknown, that all those that are ready to pass on to the next dimension be able to do that with ease and grace, and that the return path to the light be one that is filled with joy and excitement to meet those that are on the other side. And those that are all on the precipice of making a decision whether to leave or not to leave, if their choice is to stay here on planet Earth, they recuperate and rediscover their health and vitality as quickly as possible. And I declare it so in my holy name, so be it. It is done. Thank you. All right, that's a wrap.
Thank you.
Over the hour, we must say goodbye. We're back, same time, same place tomorrow. So come on with your questions, and don't forget, you too can get the deep clearing protocol, pick it up, and begin to clear you and your family, your loved ones. And when you finish that, you can start clearing the planet. So until tomorrow, be healthy, wealthy, and wise. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.
For quality online wellness products, courses, and services, visit our sponsors, thewellnessstore.ca. and the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy located at thewellnessacademy.ca. To stay in touch, visit us at thewellnessshow.ca. And until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise.